John here, all miniatures great and small, and today's episode of What's on the Table, I've got my West Germans. So you might have been following some of my previous videos, almost an unofficial video blog of my West German Odyssey. I got the starter army box. I picked up a couple of extra items, some Gepards and some stuff that I picked up in mercenary markets, kind of like flea markets for miniatures. So I've got some stuff now. I think I'm in a good spot to build my West Germans without having to invest any more in them. So basically I wanted to get them playable in the fastest amount of time, and then maybe throw out a challenge and see if I could eventually get a battle report in. That's right, Mark. I'm calling you out. All right, so these are the Martyr 2s. The starter army box came with 4 of them. I built 2 with the I guess is the Milan, and 2 without, so I could run them as scouts, or I could run them 4 of them as transport for infantry platoon. So the Martyr 2 is really cool looking. I built these with the smaller gun barrel because they're a little bit cheaper. I think they look cool. The big gun barrel looks really cool too, but I thought I'd go with the standard version first. So I've got 4 of those. You guys might have seen the Leopard 2 A5s that I did. Those basically were my testers to make sure I liked the scheme. Pretty much I did the scheme that I went with my Team Yankee Americans, the 3-color NATO. So these are almost basically the same exact colors I painted NATO. So I didn't have to reinvent the wheel, and they can ally with each other if they need to. The box also came with a couple of Leopard 2s, the earlier version. And you can kind of see what I've got there. So these guys aren't complete. I'm still waiting on, if you saw my What's on the Table where I talked about these guys, I was missing one of the decal sheets out of the army box. So if you get the West German, starter box, army box, check the decals. And I contacted Battlefront. Their support's really friendly. They said they'd send me a second sheet. That way I could put the numbers on the hull. And so I'm holding off flat coating this, putting weathering on it until I can get all of the decals on and just do it all at once. Really, I kind of knocked out everything except the Leopard 2 A5s all at once. So I also have these 155mm artillery M109s. They are just beastly guns. I love that. So you get 3 of those. You'd be remiss if you didn't have some kind of observer for the artillery battery. So that guy comes in M113. And you may notice these guys are all in white. I just have them primed so I actually typically use contrast on these crew members, and can knock them out pretty quick. So there'll be browns and greens and flesh tone, and probably nothing too historically accurate, but I do like these guys to be you can see them at a distance and mark out that command tank. Alright, so that's the stuff from the starter box minus the aircraft and helicopters. Then I got you might have seen my unboxing, I picked up 2 of these boxes of Gepards, which are, I think that's 35mm cannons, on a Leopard 1 chassis. And again, same exact paint scheme. And I've got 4 of those. So really, I've got these in a place where I'm pretty happy with them. Really, I just need the decals, a flat coat, and maybe some minor weathering. But beyond that, like I said, I'm pretty happy where they are. They're ready to throw on the table right now if I wanted to. But I guess I would paint the crew first. But I can touch them up. I like decals. I know some commenters mentioned that the numbers might not be historically accurate on the side of these tanks, the bright white numbers. And that's probably true, but I think I'm still going to go with them just because of the contrast. These are all dark colors, and I think the bright white numbers, although probably tactically a terrible idea, just looks good from a distance and gives it some contrast. The other thing I did was, when I was on vacation, I picked up the whole family picked up some plastic models. In this case, we got Gundams. My daughters are a little anime crazed, and they like Gundams. So I picked up some Gundams. We each got some, and I picked up this fella. And no, I don't know the exact number. But basically, we built them on our downtime in the evenings when we were on vacation. And it was a lot of fun. And each one of these kits is like $20, $10. And, you get a cool giant robot at the end. So that was a thing. But I also picked up some hobby supplies to paint these Gundams. And that's the real reason why I'm showing you. One of the things I picked up was this Mr. Weathering Liner, which is basically almost like an oil. I'm not sure if it's oil, but it's, reminds me of a makeup pencil. And it actually shows an example of them weathering a stud. And basically it is meant for weathering, simple weathering. So I haven't done it yet, but the idea is basically you draw your line down, and you can feather it out with a Q-tip or something like that. The effect might be a little too subtle at this scale, but who knows? I think they're cool, and I thought they come in handy. The other thing I picked up were these items called Gundam markers, because we didn't want to bring any paints on our vacation. So I just picked this up when we got the models. They were fairly inexpensive, but they have black, they have gray, and I actually used this black on like this martyr. You can see the front there. That panel lining is all done with the Gundam marker. And why? Because I'm always looking for shortcuts, and this was a little bit easier than going in there with a brush and putting in Nuln Oil or something like that to separate those panel lines out. So I liked how that turned out, and then a light dry brush of tan really made it stand out. I think it'll look even better once it's got a flat coat and it's not partially shiny and partially not shiny. But there you go. So I thought it was pretty cool. I'm not going to replace much in my toolbox, but it is a good tool. They are a nice ink tip. They run pretty well, and I imagine you can find lots of application for them. So there you go, guys. While I'm waiting for my decals, I'm probably going to tackle the aircraft next. I did paint up 4 of the PA helicopters and get those in a state where they can also take the field. And then I'm going to circle back around and start knocking out some more American Civil War. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video of what's on the table this week. You can see I feel like I've been very productive and got a lot of West Germans done. Thanks for watching, as always. If you don't mind, please do click that like and subscribe button. It really helps out the channel, lets me know that you like content like this, and I can make more of it. Also, if you like our Flames of War content, check out our Patreon, where patrons get access to a battle report exclusive to them every month. As always, thanks for watching, and keep on wargaming.